Hey, what's going on, guys? Sully here, and today I have a brand new series called Alternate History Zombies, where I talk about what would happen if something changed during the zombie storyline. And today we're going to be talking about what if Moon never happened, and what if, say, Jimmy Zielinski's team went with the idea of Paris rather than switching to Moon at the last moment. Now, we know from what Jason Blundell has said during certain interviews with people that they thought about doing Paris for most of the time, and they decided to switch to Moon at the last second.
Okay.
And then the Paris map got turned into Moon.
I've heard about that. I guess the Moon in the early stages was Paris, and then it got reworked into being on the Moon.
Well,
how do you make that jump?
So they you know, and it was a fantastic team. You know, it was a different kind of group of guys, but a fantastic team took it, and then just certain of the little ideas got moved. And I don't want to say it was just Paris, because it wasn't. Paris is a very different map, but Paris had the idea of a no man's land. And it had the Eiffel Tower, and then underneath that was a teleporter, and then there was the catacombs of Paris underneath that. And the idea was that you went into the kind of teleporter, and the Eiffel Tower was essentially a conduit for the power for it. And then you got transported to this middle of nowhere where the Pack-a-Punch was, and it was just zombies all coming at you, and there was no cover, and it was brutal.
If you didn't hear what he said right there, he said that there was 3 different layers. So the top layer was the Eiffel Tower. The second layer below that was the teleporter, which would take you to the no man's land, and the third layer below that would be the catacombs. So this maybe means that the area where the MPD is could have been a finished product of what could have been the catacombs under France. So they did have a decent amount developed already in Paris, but besides this, we don't know that much. But it is cool to think about what it could have been, and some parts that are still remaining from now that were in the process of being made back then. It'd be cool to see what this idea would have been if it actually happened. Now, not only if Moon didn't happen, maps would change, but also obviously storyline. Now, all of BO2 wouldn't have happened at all. So, from the start of Transit to Buried, excluding Mob of the Dead. So basically, the Victus crew, which is Transit, Die Rise, and Buried, that wouldn't have happened at all because the world wouldn't have got destroyed, and we wouldn't have had to talk about this. This also might have meant that Nuketown, at least the way it happened, where the nuclear bomb went off, that wouldn't have happened. The map might have still happened, but the way it happened wouldn't have been the same. This also means that Black Ops 3 wouldn't have happened at all, because the whole mission of Black Ops 3 was to not have what happened in BO2 happen. So we were basically trying to cancel out the idea of the world being blown up and the world ending, pretty much. So that's what the idea of BO3 was, and then we got to the end of Revelations, and, well, based on a recent dissections of the cutscene from Revelations, there are 3 different paths at the ending of Revelations that it could possibly go. So one of them is that the cycle would continue, so they would go back to the start of Primus and relive that whole cycle all over and over again. The second was the cycle is broken, and the third is a very recent topic that I don't know much about, but it's to do with the comics and stuff that hasn't been mentioned on the timeline in the Chronorium, at least from what we have been shown yet. But I'm not going to mention this too much, mainly because that's not what this video is about. But if you want to know more about this, I'll link Rad Austin's video in the description if you want to go watch it. But back to what I was saying, is that pretty much everything I've said, from BO2, the start of Transit, to Buried, those 3 maps, including maybe even Nuketown, would all be changed, or maybe even not happen at all. And if the world didn't end, one, what would have happened after Moon, or in this case Paris, and what would we be at right now? Well, I don't know of any specific way that we could have gone. There's no ideal direction we're being pointed into, but I'd say the right way, or the easiest way I can think of that we would have gone if we didn't blow up the Earth, is probably just continue on with Transit, Die Rise, and Buried. Maybe not in the same way, but similar locations, or at least to do with a different crew, because I know for a fact that even though these Richtofen, all those guys, they're cool, Zelensky definitely wanted to change it up, so I feel like it would have been on the Earth, maybe not in Green Run. It might even been the same characters, but I do believe it'd probably be something to do with the Victus crew. Now, there's no way to tell if it would be the same maps, because obviously Transit was basically blown up Green Run, and then Die Rise was a mess of skyscrapers, and Buried is an underground town, so I doubt that it'd be in the same locations, but who knows. I think that the most likely way they'd go with, like I said, is just continue with the Victus crew but without a blown up Earth. The second part of the question that I was trying to answer is where would we be right now in between alternate Black Ops 3 and alternate Black Ops 4? There's no way to tell where we'd be, but out of the millions or billions of possibilities that we could be at, the most logical theory is that we'd probably still be in, hopefully, the same dimension. I mean, like I said, there's no way to tell, but we'd probably be in the same dimension. We might be with the Victus crew, or we might still be with the Richthofen and the normal crew, the 1.0s. And, well, I don't know. That's for you to decide, I'd say. But, if you guys have any ideas on alternate zombie videos for the next episode, leave comments down in the comment section below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe, do all that jazz. And, yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys later, and peace. Oh, one more thing I forgot to tell you guys. If you got any more ideas you want me to do, like series-wise or any videos at all, just let me know. I mean, I know my channel's a little bit dead right now, but since we're in the year of Treyarch, I'm kind of getting excited for what's coming out. We might be getting teasers next month. We're already getting kind of hintings from tweets. I mean, David Von Hart tweeted about Mob of the Dead. I mean, Treyarch, I can't name one time that they've disappointed. Yeah. Hope you guys all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.